Welcome to George and Willy's World, boys and girls, and I'm glad you've returned to join us for another exciting show. Today we have George and Willy are here with us, and we also have Mrs. Kranz. Hi, Mrs. Kranz. And I'm Mrs. Mapes, and we're glad that you're here. The last time that we had a show, I wasn't able to be here because I had to go back to San Francisco and have the doctor look at my hand. But everything seems to be just great, and my hand is wonderful, and Willy came with me, and so did Willy's dad, I guess. Mr. Mapes, he came with us and he drove us down there. And so we spent the day and did some things down in San Francisco. It's a long drive. And I'm so glad that you were able to take care of it for us, Mrs. Kranz. Thank you. You did a great job.
It was a lot of fun.
Oh, good. And I heard that the guests were wonderful.
Yes, they were.
And I hope you were with us those two shows. So boys and girls, today we have a special guest, and she's going to be talking a little bit to us about getting ready for kindergarten. And her name is Mrs. McGrew. She is our school readiness coordinator. And before I go any further, I think that I'll just introduce her, and she'll tell us a little bit about what she does. So welcome, Mrs. McGrew.
Thank you. It's really good to see you, Mrs. Mapes.
I'm glad you're here.
Oh, you can shake hands now.
I can do
That's
anything
wonderful.
with this hand, yes. Have a seat.
All
We'll
right.
come
Oh,
over.
good. I get to
Got
sit by the dogs.
Yes. Mrs. McGrew also makes sure that she takes care of this show and gets it all set up. This is Mrs. McGrew's idea through the school readiness as a school readiness coordinator. So tell us a little bit about what your job is and why it's so important.
All right. Well, school readiness is all about getting ready for school. And it's really important because we want everybody to love school when they start. I don't know about you, but I loved school when I was small, and I want everybody to feel that same way. So there are certain things you can do to get even more ready to enjoy school. And that's what we work with. We work with parents and teachers and the children to help them get ready for the excitement and the fun that school's going to be. So I do several different events. We do this show because this is another way that children can learn how exciting reading is, how wonderful it is to do crafts, and just all new ideas. And then we do every spring when it's time to register for kindergarten. And you might not know, but if children are going to be 5 by next December, they can register for kindergarten. Right now, in April coming up, there'll be registrations in all the different school districts. And in Grass Valley, we'll have a special kindergarten kickoff night on April 9th. And children are invited to come with their families that are going to be registering in Grass Valley. And they'll get to meet the principals and the kindergarten teachers. They'll get to visit the classrooms, and they'll get a free school readiness kit. And this has a lot of different ideas, wonderful books. We have some books about kindergarten, and we have other items that they can use with their families over the summer to help get ready. We put in there magnetic letters. Now, I don't want children to get worried about needing to know how to read. You don't have to know how to read to go to kindergarten, but it's good to know maybe the letters in your name. So this is a good way to use these on your refrigerator or to play with them, maybe learn some of those. And what else do we have in here?
Wow, that's exciting. That's a really nice kit. Then parents get to get that every time they come to...
When they come to kindergarten kickoff to get ready to register their children in the Grass Valley School District.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I can't do this for every school district, although many of the school districts are providing some kind of kit now, and you should check with your school district. But these are important things if you can use them. There's also a CD in here that has special songs on it. And these are songs that you can listen to all summer, and then when you go to kindergarten, you're going to hear these same songs in your classroom, and the teachers will be reading some of the same books. And our hope is that you're going to feel as comfortable at school as you do at home. So those are the ideas that we have in here. So So that's one of the big things we do.
How exciting. How many children usually come to the kindergarten kickoff?
Well, I believe it's around 100 usually who come with their moms and dads. And if they have brothers or sisters, they can bring those to the kindergarten kickoff too, and they can have special child care. But the incoming kindergartner is the special person of the evening. And they will come into the multi-purpose room, and then they will get to see all the teachers and go to the kindergarten rooms and actually do some activities that are related to this and related to getting ready for school.
Now, you usually have it more, I recall from being there and seeing it, you usually have, there's things to eat, and there's more than one night. And it also, doesn't it continue during the day sometimes? And
that is actually another event that we do,
okay.
and that's called Family Fun Nights. We do this every winter. We do 3 of them. You're right, there are 3. And we do one in January, February, and March. And in fact, our March one's getting ready to come up. And those nights, parents come with their children, and they get 3 free books. And then we have teachers helping them learn all new ways to use those books at home. Activities and ideas. And the children are in childcare during that time, but they have special treats too. Last time we had a wonderful lady who did face painting. And this time in March, we're going to have Mother Goose come.
And she just came to our class last week for something we call Dear Day, drop everything and read. And my students were able to sit and watch Mother Goose from Over the Rainbow, who happened to be on our show. The very first show was Mother Goose was on it. And so she came to our class in the Grass Valley School District at Hennessy and shared all of her tricks and books. And she's wonderful, too.
She is wonderful. It was nice having her on our very first inaugural show. So if children are preschoolers and they're going to probably be going to school in Grass Valley when they get to be kindergarten, they can come to our Family Fun Night. And it's on March 20th. So at Hennessy School at 6 p.m. And they can call School Readiness, and that number will be up at the end of the show if they're interested in coming to that. So we'd love to have more people and invite any children out there that would like to come.
And when you write your letters to George and Willy's World at 235 South Auburn Street in Grass Valley, they will go to the School Readiness place, coordinator, and then she will find them and bring them in so that we'll be able to read them on the air. So that's where all of the letters go when you send them into George and Willy's World.
That's right, and we are eagerly awaiting.
Yes.
We would love it if some of the children who are watching would write to us or have their parents write to us, but dictate the letter and let us know how they like the show.
I would love that, and I know George and Willy would like to hear how the children are watching. I see children at the school, or I see them around, and they say, "You're Mrs. Mapes, and that's Willy," and they recognize us. So I know the children are watching the show. Right. So please write to us and tell us what you think or who you'd like to see on the show. So you have brought a couple of books to read.
I have. One of the books is one that is in the kit, and we're going to read that one. Both of the books are about getting ready for kindergarten. Now, you know, when you're getting ready for anything that's new, it can be frightening. And I know when my children were really small and they were getting ready for kindergarten, they wanted to read as many books as possible about kindergarten because they were a little worried. So these 2 books, one of them, Look Out Kindergarten, is in the School Readiness Kit. The other book, called The Kissing Hand, one of my very favorites, is one that we give to children who come to another one of our events. We have a 4-week summer school during June and July for some of the children who are getting ready to come into kindergarten, but they haven't had a lot of preschool or organized child care, and they might need just a little extra help in getting used to just routines, you know, just that circle time and following directions. And so this way, they have that opportunity to be really ready to feel good about kindergarten. So this is one that we give to them. So these are 2 special books about kindergarten we're going to read today.
Okay, well, thank you. And boys and girls at home, I hope you're getting ready to listen. And George and Willy, are you ready to listen? Looks like you've already put Willy to sleep there, huh?
He's a very good listener, I know that.
Mrs. Kranz, are you ready to listen?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I can't wait.
Well, our first book is called The Kissing Hand by Audrey Penn. And the illustrations are by Ruth Harper and Nancy Leake. And illustrations means the pictures or the paintings that are in the book. Okay, so the kissing hand. Chester Raccoon stood at the edge of the forest and cried, "I don't want to go to school," he told his mother. "I want to stay home with you. I want to play with my friends and play with my toys and read my books and swing on my swing. Please, may I stay home with you?" Oh, and Chester's very sad. He's not excited yet. Mrs. Raccoon took Chester by the hand and nuzzled him on the ear. "Sometimes we all have to do things we don't want to do," she told him gently, "even if they seem strange and scary at first. But you will love school once you start." So there she's talking to Chester. She's trying to make him feel better. "You'll make new friends and play with new toys." See, there's looks like there's going to be a sandbox. "Read new books and swing on new swings. Besides," she added, "I know a wonderful secret that will make your nights at school seem as warm and cozy as your days at home." Chester wiped away his tears and looked interested. "A secret? What kind of secret?" "A very old secret," said Mrs. Raccoon. "I learned it from my mother, and she learned it from hers. It's called the kissing hand." "The kissing hand?" asked Chester. "What's that?" So now he's interested. "I'll show you." Mrs. Raccoon took Chester's left hand and spread open his tiny fingers into a fan. Leaning forward, she kissed Chester right in the middle of his palm. Chester felt his mother's kiss rush from his hand, up his arm, and into his heart. Even his silky black mask tingled with a special warmth. Mrs. Raccoon smiled. "Now," she told Chester, "whenever you feel lonely and need a little loving from home, just press your hand to your cheek and think, 'Mommy loves you, Mommy loves you.' And that very kiss will jump to your face and fill you with toasty, warm thoughts." So see, he's looking at his little paw thinking, "Oh, now I've got a kiss in my hand." She took Chester's hand and carefully wrapped his fingers around the kiss. "Now do be careful not to lose it," she teased him. "But don't worry. When you open your hand and wash your food, I promise the kiss will stick." Chester loved his kissing hand. Now he knew his mother's love would go with him wherever he went, even to school. So see, his kissing hand goes with him everywhere he is. That night, Chester stood in front of his school and looked thoughtful. Suddenly, he turned to his mother and grinned. "Give me your hand," he told her. Wonder what he's going to do. Chester took his mother's hand in his very own and unfolded her large, familiar fingers into a fan. Next, he leaned forward and kissed the center of her hand. "Now you have a kissing hand too," he told her. And with a gentle goodbye and "I love you," Chester turned and danced away. He doesn't look so scared of school now. Mrs. Raccoon watched Chester scamper across a tree limb and enter school. And as a hoot owl rang in the new school year, she pressed her left hand to her cheek and smiled. The warmth of Chester's kiss filled her heart with special words. "Chester loves you," it sang. "Chester loves you." I bet she really liked that, because mommies miss their children when they go to school too.
Yes, they do.
And that I think is the end. Oh, I love you. And that's the end of the kissing hand.
I love that story. I've never heard that story before.
Oh, you'd never heard that one?
No.
This one is one of my very favorites. And I think many children are very worried about being away from their mom for the first time. And so I love the idea of having that special thing to take with you. So.
Well, many mothers are worried about their children going away too, so they know that they have some sort of connection when they're there.
Absolutely. So
That's a wonderful book.
thank you. I love that book.
And what's your second book?
Our second book is in the School Readiness Kit, and it's called Look Out Kindergarten, Here I Come. So Chester was a raccoon, but Henry, who we're going to learn about now, he looks like he's a mouse. And this book is by Nancy Carlson, and she's written a lot of good books for children. So if you guys are at the library with your parents, you might want to look for this book or one of her other books. So, look out, kindergarten, here I come. Wake up, dear, said Henry's mom. It's the first day of kindergarten. Oh, boy, let's go, said Henry. He had been getting ready for this day all year. Not so fast, said his mom. First, you need to wash up and get dressed. So Henry brushed his teeth the way the dentist had shown him and washed behind his ears. Then he buttoned his shirt and snapped his jeans and almost tied his shoes. Okay, I'm all ready for kindergarten, said Henry. Not so fast, said his mom. First, you need a good breakfast. So Henry ate 3 pancakes and a bowl of fruit and drank a big glass of milk. Now I'm ready to go, said Henry. Not so fast, said his mom. You still need to pack up your supplies. So Henry packed pencils, scissors, crayons, paper, glue, an apple, and a photo of his mom and dad in case he got lonely. Now I'm ready, said Henry. So here, let's see, we don't want to get that too, there we go. So now they're going to go off to school. What do you think we'll do first? Asked Henry. Do you think we'll paint? Sure you will, said his mom. Just like at home. Good, said Henry. What else will we do? So there we go. So you can see they're walking along, and Henry's trying to figure out, what are we going to do now? You'll probably learn your ABCs, said his mom. Hey, I already know the letters in my name, said Henry. What will we do after that? Well, you'll sing songs and play games. And you might practice counting, said his mom. 1, 2, 3 flowers, said Henry. I can count to 10 because we practiced counting with buttons. What comes next? Well, you'll make fun things in arts and crafts, and you'll read stories. But I can't read, said Henry. That's okay, said his mom. You'll start by listening. Reading comes later. Here we are, said Henry's mom. It's so big, said Henry. What if I get lost? Remember, we found your room and your cubby at kindergarten roundup, said his mom. But you can always ask a teacher for help. Let's see here. I want to get this just right so everybody can see all of his room here. Let's see. Okay. When Henry got to his room and saw lots of new faces, he said, I want to go home. Why don't you come in and look around, said his teacher, Mrs. Bradley. Henry looked around. He saw the art corner. He saw letters and numbers that he knew. He saw a bookcase full of books, and he met a new friend to play with. Let's see, here we go. Well, what do you think? Asked Henry's mom. I think I might stay for a while, Mom, said Henry. Because kindergarten is going to be fun. So Henry was worried, just like Chester was, because they were both going to go and do something new. And they each approached it in a little different way, just like people are different. Henry was very excited until he got there. Chester wasn't sure about even going. But once they were there, and once they knew that they were safe, then they were fine. So these are a couple of the books we like to let children have, and just to begin to feel better about going to kindergarten, just in case they might be a little scared.
And they're great for parents, too, because parents, it's hard to find a book that relates to going to kindergarten and the fears that they feel inside, because it's hard to go away for a while.
It is. It's very hard. There's other great ones at the library that people can find. I know, I don't know if you've read, but Miss Bindergarten Gets Ready for Kindergarten is a wonderful book. And you can always go to Berenstain Bears. They have books about everything, including the first day of kindergarten. So those kind of books are at the library. And I think that, I know with my children, we went and got out a lot of those books and read them again and again over the summer. So that they would feel good. And you have
another activity you're going to show the children at home that they will receive when they get their first kit. So please, come on up here.
Okay, thank you. All right. Oh, excuse me, George. We'll put those down here. One of the things we like to, oh, it's nothing to eat, I'm sorry. Oh, and you know, that's the memory game. That's one of our games. Let's see if I can find our bears, too. Let's talk about the memory game first, though, okay? And maybe you can look in the bag and see if you can find the teddy bears.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure that many of you have probably played the memory game, and it's really a matching game. And we give each child 20. We don't give them a whole big memory game because that's a lot for them. But if you notice, there are cards, and each of the cards has a little animal on it, or maybe a banana. This one has a banana. And there's 2 of each of the same kind. So what you can do with the memory game is you put them upside down. And you lay them all out. We'll just lay a few out. And then you take turns, and you put one up, and then you put another up, and you see if they match. And if they match, you get to keep them. If they don't, you turn them back over, and it's somebody else's turn.
It's my turn.
It's your turn now.
Oh, not a match. That's a ladybug, and that's an apple with a worm, but I have a feeling. Do you know which one's matched? There was one.
Oh, and look, Mrs. Kranz found 2 apples.
And she gets them now.
And
Those
she would get
hers.
them. And so you'd keep playing until all the cards had been matched, and whoever had the most cards was the winner.
I love that game.
So that's one of the things we do, and that they can play. Now, oops.
I'll get those.
Okay. Well, we'll just leave them for now. That's okay. George might like them. But they're just pretend food, George. So here we have lots of teddy bears, and each child gets 12 bears. And if you notice, there's 4 different colors. We're going to line these little bears up. Oop, and already you can see that I'm not as good as the children would be. But if you notice, there's 4 different colors and 3 different sizes. So we have blue bears, green bears, red bears, and yellow bears. And there's actually a lot of different things you can do with these bears. I bet you can think of things. One of the things, you might count bears.
Yes.
You might practice counting with your child. And you can do that. You can do patterns. You might have green bear, red bear, or green bear, blue bear, green bear, blue bear. Or you might do it by size.
Yes. Big, small, or small, big, small, big, small, big. Or you could do small, medium, big, small, medium, big. So those are different things too.
And those, it's not only fun, but you get to practice colors. You get to practice counting. You get to look at patterns. And patterns are sort of the beginning of math. So just some other ideas that children can play with. And if you don't have bears at home, you can use buttons. You can use rocks.
If we were outside, we would probably use rocks. You could use sticks. You could use beans that you happen to have. Maybe your mom or dad have some in the kitchen. So this is wonderful. And I noticed that in here very quickly, I found the CD.
Oh, you found the CD,
yes.
the Raffy CD. And it has wonderful songs that you can
sing
listen to. And then in the fall, when you come to school, you'll hear those same ones.
And Mrs. McGrew, we have to get going real quick now, so thank you so much for coming.
You are welcome.
Boys and girls, I hope you make sure that you come to school readiness to get this packet and get excited about going to kindergarten. And I hope you enjoyed joining us again on our wonderful show. And until next time, remember to listen to lots of stories, do your jobs, and have fun playing. And don't forget to write 235 South Auburn Street, or George and Willy at yahoo.com. Also, DVDs are available at the Grass Valley Library, Madeline Helling Library, and the Children's Community Services. Until next time, bye-bye.